your belief is that Putin is sick and may not have long to live.
Yeah, my belief. Well, take one look at him. If it was your father, what would you think?
Yeah,
he was seriously ill. I mean, the fact that he shook hands at that victory parade with the hand he doesn't use, I think is a clear indication that there's something fundamentally wrong. I mean, let alone the other symptoms that he's showing.
Is it more dangerous for the world if he is, say, terminally ill with a cancer or something, and only he knows this and his medical team? Is that more dangerous because it may encourage him to do something reckless?
Well, I think if he's seriously ill, his judgement may be impaired. So you have a collision, as it were, between the geopolitics of Russia and its loss of Ukraine and Putin's health. I think that's a pretty unsavory combination of factors.
It's a very unsettling time at the moment for geopolitics. You've got President Biden being quite forceful about Taiwan and what he may do, taking the American position to a slightly stronger place than it's been before, saying he would engage militarily. We've obviously got Ukraine. You've got all the issues with wheat and other produce now, potentially causing starvation, especially in Africa, Middle East. These are worrying times, massive inflation. What do you make of it all? You've been around the block, if you don't mind me saying, for a few decades. Have you seen anything quite like this?
No, probably not. We're living in a period of, geopolitical. Well, maybe we should call it crisis. The pandemic's been probably the most disruptive event socially and to an extent politically since World War II. And on top of that now, we have a major war on the European continent. So, and let alone the other problems with, the price of energy, the situation with China, we have a concatenation of crises, some larger than others, but yes, it's highly problematic.
Does social media amplify all this in the sense that when you were running MI6, you dealt with all sorts of massive issues? Are things actually worse now, or are they just amplified by the fact we can see it all in real time?
Well, social media definitely exaggerates and amplifies the problem, and let's say increases the level of social anxiety because the messages are broadcast so widely and to so many people. But I think the situation is genuinely worrying and difficult, and we have a variety of apparently insoluble and difficult problems facing the government, facing any nation state.
What's the thing you miss most about being C in MI6, running our spies? And what's the thing you miss least?
Well, I think being in a position where you know a lot about what's going on. I guess I could say I never really had a boring day at work in my life. Not many people could say that. It's a privilege to be at the centre.
Yeah.
And to know what's going on.
Also slightly terrifying, though, wasn't it?
Well, the job is not for somebody who's of a nervous disposition.
No.
Let's put it like that. I think you need to be relatively calm in the way that you view crises, which at any moment can sort of escalate in front of you. What am I pleased about? Well, I think in a way I'm pleased that I'm not head of the service any longer.
Really?
I was in it for a very long time, and I think I did my bit, served my country. I'm very proud of that. But
what was the moment, if I could let you relive it again, what was the single most memorable moment, for whatever reason, of your tenure?
Oh, I guess it has to be 9/11.
Yeah.
And the events of 9/11.
And when that happened, when you're in that job, you must know this is now, your world has completely changed, as so many did. Yeah. But were you able to stay calm even in a moment like that?
I think so. Ask my colleagues and friends. I think I had a reputation for remaining calm.
You also had a reputation for integrity. If you had been caught as the boss of MI6 during a pandemic with severe lockdowns, hosting leaving parties, having a large number of your staff, 86 of them, getting fines from the police for having illegal lockdown-breaking parties, would you have fallen on your sword and done the honourable thing?
I wouldn't have been in that position.
Right. So what do you make of the fact that the Prime Minister was in that position?
I think I'm going to avoid comment on the Prime Minister.
Well, you don't have to sit on the fence anymore, Sir Richard.
Yeah. Well, on that particular issue, I am going to sit on the fence. But what I would say is that, if you're in an organisation, particularly if you're leading an organisation like the Secret Intelligence Service. The issue of integrity is absolutely crucial. And
So you wouldn't have put yourself in that position? I mean, there's a picture coming out tonight from Pippa Crerar from the Daily Mirror, and it's a picture of what is quite clearly a lavish amount of alcohol for a party. I mean, there's just no denying it. Do you think when we get told as the public that's not a party, we're being taken for mugs, Sir Richard?
All I would say is if you're a lawyer, it's quite difficult
Yes,
to describe
what
a party is. So I think that's my reply to that difficult question.
Final question for you. Who should be the next James Bond after Daniel Craig?
Well,
and should it ever be a woman?
I'm a traditionalist, and I think it should be a man because that's the way Ian Fleming conceived of the role.
Correct.
And
who would you like to see do it next?
Well, I've looked at a list of the candidates, and my pick would be, and I'm not an expert.
No.
But if I was,
Well, you are.
Well,
Actually
I'm an expert for the role.
Yes.
I think the one who suits it best of the list, but I don't know all of them, is probably Tom Hiddleston.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he ruined it with the Taylor Swift Ocean T-shirt
Well,
pictures.
you know more about that than I do.
I'm an Idris Elba fan myself. I think he'd be a cracking Bond.
Well, he would be good. I agree.
Yeah,
but,
he's got that sort of steely charm.
Well, you need steely charm.
I did actually pitch myself to Barbara Broccoli only
wouldn't.
3 months ago.
You would have been rather...
Well, it's not a big leap from Piers Brosnan to Piers Morgan, is it? I mean, let's be honest, right?
Well, maybe they should have a real C as M.
Yes!
Why not?
A great idea, Sir Richard.
So why don't you suggest it, casting director?
Sir Richard Dearlove, what a pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Very nice.
Thank you very much for joining me.
Yeah.